Hey everybody, Greg Pruitt here with the Idaho Dispatch, and I am joined today by Libertarian candidate Paul Sand, who is running for governor. And typically the Libertarian Party has not had a lot of primaries for this particular position, but they do this time. And Mr. Paul Sand, you are one of those two candidates. So first of all, welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, because this is actually my only way of getting the news out to my supporters, or if I have any supporters.
Okay. So the first big question I think that most people have for any candidate is, why governor? Why not a different lower position first, and then you kind of work your way up? So what kind of ultimately triggered you to go, I need to run for governor, something's got to change, and so I'm going to run for governor? Why did you decide to run for governor, and how did you kind of come to that conclusion?
I was in the city council in 2017, and I was actually contemplating running for president.
Okay.
So, the governor is probably a little more realistic.
Okay. What city council were you on?
Whitebird City Council.
Okay.
For 10 years.
Okay.
And, the city of Whitebird is a really small town. I mean, a really small city, like 100 people. But we actually had big city issues, like a pollution lawsuit from the ICL, Idaho Conservation League, the sewer plant redesign and redevelopment for the entire city. I mean, we went through big city issues in a very, very tiny city, in my experience. And I didn't see I had the time to take all the incremental steps from 2017 to now to go through all these other campaign levels to reach where I want to be, which is at a position where I can actually make policy changes that are significant both to Idaho and hopefully carry on to the rest of the country.
Okay. So running for governor was a kind of a step down, so to speak, for what your ultimate aspirations are.
Right. And I don't have any aspirations to go beyond Idaho governor. I mean, this is more than I want, but I'm willing to do it. And I actually have government experience in the state of Minnesota, working with virtually every government agency in the state of Minnesota on major policy decisions. And so I'm actually qualified to run the state of Idaho. And I've got business experience in virtually every kind of business that exists at every level in every business that exists.
Okay. So let's, I guess, talk about some of the key issues. Is there two or three main issues that you want to focus on as governor, if you were to be elected governor?
Well, my main issue is personal freedom. That's why I was running as a libertarian, because I believe in freedom. And I believe the government should stay out of our personal lives, which it has been doing way too much lately. And I believe the government should stay out of businesses' activities as long as the businesses are responsible. And so I'm asking for business responsibility, but also personal responsibility in exchange for business freedom and personal freedom.
Okay. And what do you mean? What do you mean by that, business responsibility?
Taking care of the workers first. Workers first is my platform.
Okay.
If the workers are happy, the business will be successful and the economy will grow.
Okay. So what is your proposal on keeping Idaho workers happy? So when you say, if the business has to be responsible to the workers, what do you mean by keeping the workers happy?
You cover paying their family health care insurance.
Okay.
Paying a living wage. Taking the burden of society off of their back so they can actually enjoy their lives with their families.
Okay. Gotcha. And so would that be something as governor you would want to have the legislature implement some regulations to ensure that's happening, or just encourage private?
No. I would encourage private enterprise to do it, and I would use the government to provide tools for private enterprise to provide those services.
Okay.
For example, you could have a public option for healthcare that the businesses could actually afford to pay for insurance for the entire family of the worker, instead of having a broken system that costs. We spent $10,000 last year insurance out of $30,000 in Social Security. That's our income for last year, other than little consulting work I did with my computer work. But yeah, it takes too much money. It takes too much money out of the economy for everyone to spend a quarter or more of what they make just for healthcare.
Okay. So would healthcare be one of your other big primary issues in trying to make it more affordable or make it better, or what's your platform there?
The plan is there to have a basic Medicare for workers and families. And it would actually cover the entire worker's family. It would cover all the basic costs, not a lot of extreme stuff, but it would just be basic coverage that takes care of the health and happiness and injuries and sicknesses and everything in a normal family. And then allow insurance companies to sell supplements similar to Medicare supplements, where you can expand coverage and get more coverage for other things or less deductibles or whatever. And so it's such a hybrid system. You have both a public part of the system and also a private part of the system that can work together to prevent the outrageous profits that the insurance companies make right now on just basic coverage.
Okay. What do you say to so within the Libertarian Party, and I guess within any party, there's wide ranging views on healthcare and how to tackle that issue. In this particular case, what do you say to libertarians or maybe just voters in general who say, hey, wait a minute here, we don't want a public option. That's too much government intervention. We just, get government out of the healthcare business and just make sure it's all privatized.
Yeah, I know. But the problem is privatization means profit, and profit means you're wasting money on stuff that doesn't have to waste money. And so I still think there is a position for the government to provide the big picture stuff for the people, like education. I mean, that should be paid for by the government, and businesses paid for the government to provide the education for people, not the people themselves. I mean, it's just, the whole system is just rigged so that the people pay to work, the people pay to get to work, people pay to ride the bus to work, people have to pay their time to get to work. And then when you get to work, you're overworked, underpaid, and that's going to go on forever if we don't change it.
Okay. Let's shift gears a little bit. What about the Second Amendment? Where are you at on firearms, and should we?
I'm completely in favor of firearms.
Okay.
But I'm also completely against gun violence.
Okay.
And I think if we eliminate gun violence, then we take the firearms issue completely off the table.
So when you say gun violence, what do you mean by that? Number one, just so for maybe those that don't understand when you say gun violence, and then what? How do you solve that particular issue?
There's 4 kinds of gun violence, and there's 4 solutions.
Okay.
One of them is just the war on drugs. That's really easy to fix.
Okay.
Once there's no economy there, there's no gun violence. The second one is just plain lack of economic opportunity for young people, or any people. I mean, if you're starving and your family's starving, you're going to do something. The third one is there's no safety net. If you lose your job and your mortgage and your car and your insurance and everything instantly goes away, then people get angry. And that's another one. I don't remember what the fourth one was.
Okay.
They're all based on social inequality.
Okay. So stuff like, what about something like red flag laws? That's a very hot topic in the Second Amendment.
I'm not even sure what a red flag law is. Can you describe it to me?
Yeah. So a red flag law would be a family member. It kind of depends on the state, but a friend or somebody, they go to a judge and say, we're concerned about so-and-so potentially harming themselves or others. And then a judge gives the order to go to that house, take that person's firearms away. And at some point after that, that person would have the opportunity to go to court and try to defend themselves or whatever. no crime has technically been committed or anything like that. But that's a new debate that's happening in the country where, a lot of people oppose that, a lot of people are in favor of it, and so that's
I would probably tend to oppose that.
Okay. What about the fire issue is a major issue in Idaho. Every season, the fires kick up and start burning down a lot of wood, threatening cities, threatening homes.
A lot of expensive homes getting burned down.
Yeah. So how do you tackle that issue, or do you think it's an issue, or is it just kind of naturally going to happen and there's nothing that can be done?
Well, I think it's a natural thing. I think we make a lot of money by fighting these fires, and so even the whitebird economy, benefits from firefighters coming here.
So do we try and slow the spread of these fires and how many fires we're having, and can that be done?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, we can fight the fires, but we had a fire here on the hillside behind me a few years ago. I'm not going to say anything about the response to it, but wasn't happy. Let's put it that way.
Okay. What about some people say we need to do a lot more logging, getting out the dry timber that's in there that's making the fires worse. Is that something you think should happen or not happen?
I'm in favor of logging and cleaning up the forest for sure.
Okay. What about another big topic right now is immigration. Obviously we don't border the southern border where a lot of the immigration debate is happening. We do have a northern border. I don't know if there's there's a lot of people coming through the northern border, so to speak. But what is your view on immigration? And as governor, would there be anything you try to do in that regard?
Well, there's nothing I would do to try to stop people from immigrating.
Okay.
We're all immigrants. I mean, my family came here as immigrants.
Okay. So is that you would be more of an open borders? Would that be accurate?
Definitely.
Okay.
Fully open borders.
Okay.
No trade barriers, no nothing.
Sure. What would be your, going back to, I guess, 2020, when COVID first, hit the news. I guess that was in late 2019, but 2020, it really hit here in the United States. There was some controversy over Governor Little's decision to close down some businesses that were labeled as non-essential, and then some were left open. What do you believe the governor acted in the right way, and would you have acted any differently than Governor Little did?
That's kind of a hard thing to answer, but I would probably have left the decision up to the businesses and kept the government out of the decision.
Okay.
I think the businesses have a right to set their restrictions and their limitations on customers, members, clients, whatever, everybody, workers. But I don't think the government should be setting rules on what is essentially personal behavior. If it actually helps to wear a mask, but it more helps you stay alive than it helps other people stay alive.
Okay.
So I do wear a mask. I mean, I do wear a mask everywhere. I'm not anti-mask.
Okay.
And I don't think this is over yet either. This isn't over yet, period. We're in a little lull right now, but we relax the regulations too quickly every time the rate goes down. And instead of trying to keep it going down, we stop it going down from going down too low.
Okay. So are you saying you believe people should mask, but it should be up to them to mask, or?
Yes,
okay.
100%.
Okay.
If you want to get vaccinated, go right ahead and get vaccinated as many times as you want.
Okay. What are there other issues before we move into the next segment? Are there other issues that you are running on for your campaign that you feel are important that we haven't covered up to this point?
But here's one thing, which is my statement of what the legislature's job is.
Okay.
Which is representing the people and the industries of their district for the benefit of the industries and the people of their district all the time for all the people. And they should not be representing anything other than, the economic interest of their people they're representing for the best.
Okay. Is there a reason that, sorry, Annette, if I cut you off, I apologize. Is there a reason that became something that you're advocating for or pushing for?
Yeah, because of the behavior of the legislators of the last year or two is embarrassing.
Okay. Any particular examples? And you don't have to if you don't want. I was just curious. And
no, they're all in the news.
They're all over the news. Okay. So we briefly spoke about this in email. I've been told you weren't unable for personal reasons unable to attend the Libertarian convention, and so you only have one other opponent. And your opponent was given the endorsement at the convention. Not necessarily through any fault of your own. Just you just weren't able to make it or whatever. But are you trying? Did you want to be the Libertarian Party nominee, or sorry, not nominee, but endorsement, or is that?
Well, I definitely wanted the party's endorsement, but I was, I told the chairman of the party last fall, I said, I'm not convinced that the party will want me. And, she kind of assured me that I'd have at least her support, but unfortunately, the executive committee got sort of shuffled again at the convention. And, I thought I had people there who were representing my interests, but apparently there wasn't. There was just people there representing my opponent's interests. And so they didn't even think I was requesting an endorsement.
Okay. What makes you the best nominee versus your opponent? What's the main difference there? And I'm not asking you to attack your opponent necessarily, but just what's the main difference there between you two?
The main difference is that he's a Republican.
Okay.
And he became a Libertarian after he filed for the Libertarian Party.
Okay. So, but
I don't agree with any of his points. So we don't have any disagreement on issues. I don't think. Although he probably doesn't like my issues, but I don't have any problem with his issues.
Okay.
I can't campaign against him. I have nothing on which to campaign against him.
Sure. Okay. All right. So in closing, what we allow candidates to do is you basically look at the camera, talk to the people of Idaho. So you give your campaign pitch. You can plug your website and any other social media or whatever you want to do, and that's totally fine. And then we'll be done.
And we've covered everything. There's really, I'm against money in politics, and I'm fighting for the people. I want to represent the people. I don't want them to think of me as their leader. I'm not running to be their leader. I don't want people to come and listen to me preach to them about anything or try to teach them anything. I just want them to teach me what they want from me, and then I'll do whatever is rational. I'm not interested in irrational behavior, even if it's popular. I'm interested in rational collectivism. Let's put it that way, where if it makes sense, it's logical. Logic is truth. Science is actually fiction. And so if it's logical, then it's rational. And then it's a good thing for everybody. So I guess I'm running on logic, and I'm not running, as a scientist, I cannot actually endorse science. Because the scientific process is actually very flawed, whereas the logical process is, results in truth. Logic is truth, science is conjecture.
Okay. And if people want to learn more about you, where would they go?
paulsand.org. And if you're an unaffiliated voter or a new voter in the state, you can go to the polls on 17th or earlier and request a Libertarian ballot and vote for Paul Sand. It's really simple, easy name to remember. The name is as old as not older than dirt. It's easy. And you put my name down, you give it back to them, you're done, you leave.
All right. Well, Mr. Sand, we appreciate you taking the time to do an interview with us, and we'll get this posted for you. And good luck on the campaign.
Okay, thank you.